Welcome to the NoJetStress Podcast, where we explore traveller wellbeing solutions for business and frequent flyers seeking to conquer jet lag and live healthier lives. I'm your host, Christopher Babayode, ex-flight attendant, traveller wellbeing advocate, nutritional therapist, and author. In this episode of the NoJetStress Podcast, I'm going to give you a quick overview of my book, Farewell Jet Lag, Cures from a Flight Attendant. You know that feeling when someone tells you you can't do that. Back in 1998, when I told my colleagues at my accountancy firm that I was leaving to become a flight attendant, they all said the same thing. You can't do that. Flying is so unhealthy. Well, here I am, 20 plus years later, not just having survived in the aviation industry, but thrived. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way to fly healthily, one that I've uncovered through the years that science and evidence is catching up to. Like many of you, I've experienced those groggy mornings in foreign hotels, trying to figure out what time it is and wondering why my body feels like it's running on a completely different schedule, because it is. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way. I remember when I was learning a foreign language, one of the scenarios pictured in my textbooks was of someone waking up in a faraway land where they were trying to get to grips with the language and they were so disoriented because they didn't know where they were. To be honest with you, that's the least of the frequent traveller's problems while on the road. Let's talk about what's really happening when we experience jet lag. It's not just about feeling tired. It's about your body's entire system being thrown off balance. Your internal clock or circadian rhythm is struggling to adapt to a new time zone, affecting everything from your sleep patterns to your digestion, to your thinking, and whatever else in between. What makes this even more challenging is that most of the solutions out there are quick fixes. Sleeping pills, overloading on caffeine, or trying to power through. But these aren't real solutions. These are just temporary patches that often leave you feeling worse in the long run. And there's the real problem. The accumulation of the classic type of symptom picture that frequent travelers have to put up with is embedded in the idea that while most people who travel don't travel as frequently, if you're a frequent traveler, you're coming back, and that window between you being at home and leaving for your next trip means that you really have to focus on recovery in a very specific way in order to make sure you're fully recovered before you can get up and go again. And this rarely happens. Instead, it becomes a downward spiral into worse performance, worsening health symptoms, and often, unfortunately, burnout. The inability of frequent business travelers to recover adequately is one factor that specifically sets them apart from anyone else who takes to the skies to travel. The way I language this inability is that frequent flyers are often 1 or 2 trips away from burnout. And unless they are able to strategically plan and implement these plans in order to get that recovery in place as a lifestyle habit, then the prognosis is not necessarily good. That's the nature of the problem in a few words. But I guess what we want to explore and discover are worthwhile solutions. Through my years of experience and research, I've developed a comprehensive non-drug-based approach to managing jet lag. It's rooted in circadian science, sleep science, and nutritional therapy. But don't worry, I'm going to break it down into practical, actionable steps. Think of it like this. Your body is like a finely tuned instrument. When you travel across time zones, it needs careful recalibration, not a hard reset. The key lies in understanding how to protect your health during travel, maintaining proper hydration, and acclimatize to new time zones naturally and routinely as a lifestyle habit. In fact, another way that I tend to say this is that managing jet lag is as easy as being able to manage what you eat, drink, and how you sleep. If you make these lifestyle habits and you place them at the forefront of your priority list as someone who's a frequent traveler, you can get a lot of benefit from this. For instance, one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal is understanding your body's natural rhythms. Adjustments to your eating and sleeping schedule can make a difference when you combine it with your circadian biology. But oftentimes, it's about creating a flexible plan you can follow. Finding your Pareto principle in practice is something we have to do when it comes to healthy travel. It's not about fighting your body's natural rhythms. It's about working with them and other factors that help you win in business travel. Let me share something fascinating from my research that I detail in Farewell Jet Lag, the book. Our bodies actually run on a clock of 24 hours and 11 minutes, not exactly 25 hours or 24 hours as most people think. This variation of plus or minus 16 minutes gives us a fantastic opportunity for flexibility in adapting to new time zones. This is where the concept of Zeitgebers comes in. It's a German word that means time givers, and there are two types, hard and fast ones and social Zeitgebers. These are environmental and social cues that help reset our body clock. While light is the most powerful Zeitgeber, there are others like meal timing and social interactions that we can leverage strategically during travel. Again, breaking this down into simple language, there is some truth to the saying, when in Rome, do as Romans do. While getting on local time as quickly as possible is a great rule of thumb, the challenge that we tend to have as frequent flyers is that we rarely tend to be at a place long enough to fully adapt. After all, it's not a switch you just flip and you go from being in one time zone to another. The body takes its time to adjust and it has its own routines and timings. So this makes it difficult. Therefore, when you become a JetSpert, and that is a jet stress expert, someone who's able to come in and out and acclimatize as they wish, it's a matter of training oneself to have the flexibility to adapt quicker and make it easier to adjust between time zones. And I dare say, when I was originally doing this type of work on myself, there weren't as many tools as we have now to help us do this. So it's good that technology is finally catching up. But the whole idea is we need to train that flexibility as part of our ability to manage our travel schedule and perform as we want. In Farewell Jet Lag, I discussed the importance of building a personal toolkit for healthy flying. Think of it as your traveler wellness arsenal. Just as a skilled craftsman needs the right tools for different jobs, frequent flyers need various strategies for different travel scenarios. You'll always have your basics, but you'll also need specialist ones for different types of challenges you face. After all, we might have some symptoms in common, but we don't always all experience jet lag in exactly the same way. Your toolbox should include physical tools like specific supplements and hydration tracking methods, mental tools, including meditation techniques and time zone adaptation strategies, as well as anything else that you can do that can help you center yourself to take control of changing situations, as well as environmental tools such as light exposure management devices and comfort items that actually help you feel at home so you can relax and recover as you would want. The key is not just having these tools, but knowing when and where and how to use them effectively. It's about being flexible and adaptive, understanding that what might work on a short-haul flight might not necessarily work for a long-haul flight or might need some type of adjustment. You could say it's travel prep on steroids. We went from being told that it's a good idea to double bag and double pack everything that we need and keep one set of things at the ready in our carry-on, but now we need additional tools. It could be a high-tech, low-tech tool or wearable. Whatever it is, just being able to harvest data that gives you insights to how you're faring while you're away gives you a performance edge on people who are not using these tools. If you think of yourself as a performance athlete traveler and think of an Olympian that's preparing for any event on the international stage, the prep they go through is routine, it's detailed, and they get feedback. Getting that type of feedback from whatever tools you use is going to be invaluable in helping you set up the best type of strategy and tactics that are going to get you to that next level of performance. So, enough of the theory. The farewell system of managing jet lag is based on 3 core fundamentals: mastering environments, entraining, and acclimatization. And the 6 steps of the farewell system are protecting yourself, hydrating adequately, acclimatizing adequately, mastering your rhythms, mastering all environments, and the wellness steps that serve as a wrapper for managing the 5 previous steps. As we move on to real-world application, let me share a quick story from my cabin crew days. I remember a particular route from London to Hong Kong that taught me something crucial about adaptation. Many passengers would arrive completely exhausted, while others seemed to be surprisingly fresh. The difference? It wasn't just luck, it was their approach to the journey. The passengers who fared better were ones who understood something fundamental about jet lag. It's not just about sleep. It's about your entire system's alignment. They were unknowingly using what I now teach as part of the farewell system. For instance, one business traveler I observed on questioning would always make sure that he adjusted his meal times gradually before the flight and a couple of days afterwards. He would use specific light exposure patterns during the flight, even if he had to put on his own sunglasses or take them off at odd times in order to make sure that he got light in the right amount at the right amount of time. And he would sometimes engage in gentle movements at strategic times. These simple but powerful techniques made a remarkable difference to his adaptation. Fast forward to 2023 and 2024, I now see these same sentiments mirrored and echoed by traveler well-being apps like Timeshifter and Uplift, whose founders have come on this podcast to share their knowledge and perspectives. What are the practical tips I would offer you for your next flight? First, make sure that you get adequate light exposure. That's crucial. Your body's internal clock is heavily influenced by light. Understanding when to seek or avoid light can help you adjust to a new time zone much faster. In fact, in my own journey, I've come to understand this to be the primary mover in the jet lag experience equation. Circadian science is not sleep science, and circadian science trumps sleep science for jet lag every time. Second, hydrate. Hydration isn't just about drinking water. It's about the quality of the water, when and how much you drink. Start hydrating properly, routinely, as a lifestyle energy hack. Not 24 hours before your flight, and definitely not just during it. Third, nutrition plays a vital role. The right food at the right times can help your body adapt more quickly to time zone changes and, importantly, help you build your immunity from the inside out to help you manage the onslaught and damage of frequent travel. These are just the beginning steps of what goes into the farewell system, a comprehensive approach that I've developed over years of practical experience. The journey to jet lag-free travel isn't about finding a single magic solution, which unfortunately is what most people would like to think of as something that they can do. It's about understanding your body's natural rhythms and working with them, not against them. When you grasp these principles, you'll find that healthy flying isn't just possible, it becomes second nature. Remember, every frequent flyer's journey is unique, but the principles I've shared today, drawn from both my extensive flying experience and the evidence detailed in Farewell Jet Lag, can be adapted to suit your specific travel patterns and needs. As a frequent flyer, extra credit goes to you if you're able to work these principles and tools and habits into your lifestyle. Your boosted productivity and performance will speak for itself. Thank you for listening to this episode of the NoJetStress Podcast. I have a special offer for you. If you're still listening, I'm giving away 5 free copies of the book Farewell Jet Lag, Cures from a Flight Attendant. Just cover the shipping and handling and it's yours. The first 5 DMs here reserve the copies. Let's make healthy flying the norm, not the exception. Ready to say goodbye to jet lag? For good? Then join us. Until the next time, wherever you go, farewell.